Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the HSC Morning News. Today we have a special episode on the MEV1 epidemic that, as we all know, has killed millions of people. As we take a look back on the tragedy that befell the world, let us hear some insights from our very own DOH Secretary, Secretary Arlo Palastico. Good morning, Secretary.
Hello, Jel.
Yes, let us now proceed with the interview. First, could you tell us what exactly is the MEV1 virus? What are its characteristics?
As we all know, the disease that affected the world over a year ago is called MEV1, out of the virus that causes it. The virus is said to contain sequences from both animals, bat and pig. The disease is characterized by symptoms such as difficulty in swallowing, a high fever, about 100 to 101 degrees Fahrenheit, and it eventually leads to a seizure, a brain hemorrhage, and eventually death.
So, Secretary, could you give us an approximate number of the people who were infected by the virus?
The disease at one point in time claimed over 26 million lives worldwide, but today these numbers have already declined severely due to the advancement of pharmaceutical companies to procure a vaccine and distribute it to people.
Yes, and who are affected by the disease? I mean, what characteristics do these people have?
Those who acquired the disease didn't have any unique characteristics within them. Everyone was susceptible to acquiring the disease, except for a few people who were found to be immune to the disease.
Our followers on Twitter have been tweeting us with several questions. So, one follower asked, when did the cases start?
Patient 0, that is the first person to acquire the disease, contracted the virus during a business trip in Macau. Patient 0 then spread the disease from there, and we all know that the disease started from an R0 of 2, that is, patient 0 can spread the disease to a maximum of 2 people, and from those two people they can spread it to another set of 2 people. And then the R0 then grew to 4 because of a mutation in the virus, and from there millions worldwide were affected. After the vaccine was formulated and distributed to the public, the outbreak then was contained and the number of cases declined, and eventually the disease was controlled.
Where did the cases arise, Secretary? Could you give us a specific place?
As mentioned earlier, the first cases arose in Macau, where patient 0 acquired the disease.
Why did the disease occur?
Through research, it was found out that the virus attacks our receptor cells in both the respiratory tract and the central nervous system. Its mechanism is akin to a lock and key kind of mechanism. It locks itself, the virus locks itself to a cell and eventually destroys it. The body essentially succumbs to disease because initially it had no innate ability in the form of an antivirus to combat the virus. The virus was thought to have originated from a pig farm in the highlands of Macau, wherein a certain pig accidentally consumed a contaminated food residue from a bat. Yes, so the pig developed a disease. It had symptoms like it was small in size, but despite its symptoms, it was sold to the market and was later cooked by a chef in a Macau casino, which leads us to the individual level of the disease. Specifically, patient 0, who happened to have contracted the virus from touching the contaminated hands of the chef who handled the deceased pig, as patient 0 resumed her activities, she had unknowingly spread the virus to other people, and these people in turn spread it to other people until eventually an outbreak occurred, and thus your MEV1 outbreak. Which leads us to the social level of why the disease occurred. It was ultimately because of fomites. See, fomites are refers to the transmission of a virus from contaminated surfaces.
What was done about the disease? What results were achieved by the measures that were taken by the doctors and the scientists?
Public advisory during the ascent of the disease was generally social distancing, that is, no handshaking, no staying at home when you're sick, frequently washing your hands. Despite the uncertainties of the disease that time, what was definite was, in order to become sick, you need to come into contact first with the sick person or something that they have touched. Simultaneously, doctors and epidemiologists worked hard to determine ground zero of the disease. After facing much difficulty, one doctor was able to procure a vaccine.
Alright, thank you for your time, Secretary Polastico. We appreciate it very much. Have a good day. Up next, to give us a different perspective on the MEV1 outbreak, we have an independent epidemiologist live from Minnesota. Good morning, Mr. Avillas.
Good morning, Jel. As an independent epidemiologist, I was not entirely satisfied with how the officials and authorities communicated with the public during the outbreak. There were certain measures that they did to address the concerns of the public, but in the end, these really weren't enough to allay their fears. We all remember the blogger Alan Crumweed, who made these bogus claims in his blog that he was cured by the drug forsythia. But then again, the officials weren't really able to restrain him, and he caused widespread fear and chaos. And I believe that in future outbreaks like this, the officials and authorities should be more transparent. They should say enough to allay the fears of the public, but not say too much to scare them off. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. Greatly appreciate it. Have a good day. Up next, our resident correspondent Amy C. will share with us an interview.
Good morning, Jel. I'm here live in Minnesota where a lot of people died due to the rumors that were spread during the outbreak. We remember Alan Crumweed used his craft as a blogger to spread false account about this cure called forsythia. I'm now here with a citizen who can tell us what happened during the outbreak.
Well, I'm not that techy and I wasn't able to see the blog, but news spread like wildfires. Fortunately, my mom wasn't fooled. She was a nurse and she constantly reminded us not to go outside. But still, people died. It was all Alan's fault. Not only he fooled people, he killed people. That man should be put to jail.
As you can see, Jel, even after the outbreak has been contained, people are still haunted by the memories of this tragic event. These people seek justice and they won't settle for anything less. This is Amy C. from HSC News. Back to you, Jel.
And that concludes our special episode on the MEV1 virus. This is Jel Kempang for the HSC Morning News, wishing you all a good day.